Hello, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
आवाज येतो माझा सगळ्यांना?
हो.
स्क्रीन पण दिसते ना?
हो सर.
ठीक आहे, लेक्चर सुरू करायचा मग?
Yes.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, so today's topic is diffusion, osmosis, and plant cell. And this is going to be a quick review about what you have already studied in the last year. So that will have a revision of these processes, diffusion, osmosis, and its significance with respect to the plant cell. Okay, so this is the name of the topic: diffusion, osmosis, and plant cell, a review. What is diffusion that you studied? Well, it's a simple physical phenomenon of dispersion that we experience in our daily life, such as if the incense stick or agarbatti is lighted in a room, then the fragrance is distributed throughout the room very immediately. Or when the bottle of an essential oil or perfume is open in one corner of the room, then the fragrance or aroma, that odor, it spreads or it distributes evenly throughout the available space inside the room. Or when some amount of sugar is added in water, then it forms a homogeneous mixture, and that is called as the solution. Here the sugar is called as solute that you have studied. Water is known as the solvent, and it forms the homogeneous mixture, and it is called as the solution. So these are some of the examples. And you are also familiar with some more examples from your chemistry lab. When you dissolve potassium permanganate crystal in a beaker containing water, it forms a red colored solution. Or when you dissolve copper sulfate crystal in water, it forms blue color solution. Or when you prepare hydrogen sulfide gas, H2S gas in chemistry laboratory, then that bad odor or aroma, it distributes throughout the available space in the college campus, and even the smell is there inside our botany lab also. So that is due to diffusion. All these are the examples of diffusion, the phenomenon of diffusion. Now, two questions arise as to why do molecules move, because diffusion consists of movement of molecules. First question is, why do molecules move? And the second question is, what is the direction of their movement? In which direction they move? Now you know that every molecule or every particle of the substance, it has some amount of energy, and that energy is called as potential energy. And this potential energy is converted into kinetic energy when some external stimulus is given to that. So due to this kinetic energy, molecules move from one place to other. There is movement of molecules. So the answer for the first question is, due to inherent kinetic energy, molecules move. Now, the second question is, what is the direction of their movement? What happens, when these molecules move from one place to other, there are chances of collision with one another. And the molecules always try to avoid these collisions, and therefore they go to such a places where the chances of collision are least or less at least. So such a places are usually the places where the number, or concentration of these molecules, diffusing molecules, is less, as you can see here. So here the concentration is very high and the chances of collision are very more, and therefore they try to avoid these places and they go to other places where chances of collision are less, where their concentration is less, where their number is less. So diffusion is necessarily involving the movement of molecules of gases or particles of any substance, solid, liquid, or gas, from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. As you can see here, high concentration to lower concentration. So diffusion can be defined as the process or the movement of molecules of gases or particles of substances from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, as you can see here. Yes, is there any question? Okay, I'm going to address all the questions at the end of the lecture. You can also type your questions in the chat box. I will see that, as well as we'll take orally. So here, diffusion can be defined as the movement of particles of substances or molecules of gases from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration on account of due to their inherent kinetic energy. And all the three states of matter, you can see here, solid, liquid, gas. There are some more states also, like plasma is one more state, and Bose-Einstein condensate is one more state discovered by scientists. But usually three states of matter are considered, and all these states of matter can diffuse. You can see here, solid can diffuse into solid, into liquid, solid into gas, liquid into solid, liquid and gas. These are some of the examples. You can mug out this. I will also provide you the PPT of this slide. So there is no need to mug. There is no need to write anything. You just try to understand. You just focus here on the slides and try to understand. Okay. Then. Okay. The next comes osmosis. Osmosis, you have already studied. Osmosis is a special type of diffusion through semi-permeable membrane. So here there is involvement of semi-permeable membrane, and there is need of semi-permeable membrane. It was observed for the first time by scientist J.A. Nollet in very early years, 1748. And before studying the process of osmosis, we have to consider different types of membranes, and which they are. See here. We can study the process with the help of this U-shaped glass tube. Here is a limb A and limb B. This A limb consists of, you can see here, solvent. B limb consists of solution. Here also solvent, solution. A, solvent. B, solution. Here is the difference. In this limb, there is C, concentrated solution, and it is separated by membrane from this D, dilute solution. Now, why this difference is that, we'll discuss it later on. At this stage, you just see here, here solvent is separated from solution by means of membrane, which is prepared from rubber. Here the membrane is made up of filter paper. Here the membrane is made up of the gourd bladder, which scientist Nollet used, and the same membrane, gourd bladder, is used here for separating concentrated solution and dilute solution. Now try to understand. See here. Now what happens? What will happen in this first case? When the solvent, that is pure water, is separated from solution, that is water in which some sugar is also dissolved, a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. that is solution. Solution is there, solvent is there, and these two are separated by means of membrane, and this membrane is called as impermeable membrane. Rubber acts as a membrane which is known as impermeable membrane or non-permeable membrane, in the sense this membrane doesn't allow the solute here as well as solvent to pass through it, to go through it. That means solvent cannot go through this membrane, as well as solution or solute also cannot pass here and there through this membrane. So such a type of membrane in which neither solute nor solvent can pass through it is known as impermeable membrane. So this is the first type of membrane. This is second, filter paper. This membrane acts as permeable membrane, in the sense it allows the entry of solvent as well as solution. Solvent can also go through this and solution can also go through this membrane. So this is called as permeable membrane. So this is the second type of membrane, permeable membrane. The third one is semi-permeable membrane, prepared from gallbladder or parchment paper. So what this does, it acts as a semi-permeable membrane in the sense it allows entry of only solvent. Only solvent molecules can go through this membrane, but solution cannot go. Solute particles cannot go through this membrane. So this is called as semi-permeable membrane. Is it okay? Permeable membrane, impermeable membrane, permeable membrane, and semi-permeable membrane. So what will happen in these cases? These are some of the experiments. So in the very first case, the membrane, which is impermeable, made up of rubber, nothing will happen. Solvent will remain in this limb, A limb. Solution will remain in this limb because there will be no entry of solvent or solution. Okay. Now let us take the example of second, permeable membrane, filter paper. Now in this process, here, the process of diffusion will take place. Now what is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Now you can see here in this limb A, there is solvent or pure water. In this limb there is solution. That means it consists of solvent as well as solute. So obviously, as the layers are very similar here, uniform layer is there. So this means that the solvent in this limb is comparatively lower in concentration as compared to A. Here the concentration of solvent is more. Here solvent is there in the solution, but its concentration is less. Okay. So what is diffusion? Movement from the higher concentration to lower concentration. So here the solvent molecules will move from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. Now at the same time, here solute particles or solution, here in this limb is more. Here there is no solution. So here solution will also move towards A from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. So this will be, you see here, just a minute. This will be a bidirectional flow. Solvent will move like this and solution will also move like this. So this is diffusion. Movement of solvent from the region of its higher concentration to the lower concentration. Movement of solution from the region of its higher concentration to lower concentration through this filter paper, permeable membrane. This is the example of diffusion. Now this, you can see here, this diffusion takes place due to one pressure which develops here in this limb A, in the limb of solvent, and that pressure is known as diffusion pressure, dP. It develops here. Now what is this dP? dP, diffusion pressure, is the potential ability of any substance, solid, liquid or gas, to diffuse from the region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration. Here solvent concentration is less, therefore the movement of solvent will be in this direction from A to B. Now here there is also movement, but here the solvent concentration is less. So here one more pressure is there, and that pressure is known as DPD, diffusion pressure deficit. Now what is diffusion pressure deficit? You know, here diffusion pressure of solution solvent is there, diffusion pressure of solution is there. Now the fact is that diffusion pressure of solution is always low. It is always less than the diffusion pressure of solvent. Diffusion pressure of solution is always lower than diffusion pressure of pure water, solvent. And this difference in the diffusion pressure of solution and solvent at normal temperature and pressure is called as diffusion pressure deficit, DPD, which develops here. It is also called as water deficit. Water deficit, there is a less amount of water. So that this is the reason why it absorbs water or solvent from this limb. So DPD develops here in this limb. DP develops here. DP means diffusion pressure develops here due to which diffusion takes place. We can say that diffusion takes place in this case due to development of DP, diffusion pressure. This DP is directly proportional to the number or concentration of diffusing particles. Here in this case, this DP is directly proportional to solvent. Here DPD, diffusion pressure deficit, is directly proportional to solution or solute. Are you getting? DP is directly proportional to solvent. That means when solvent concentration increases, diffusion pressure of solvent also increases. Here, when solvent concentration increases, DPD decreases. When some water comes from this limb, DPD goes on decreasing because DPD is directly proportional to not solvent but to solute or solution. So this is fact. DP is directly proportional to solvent. DPD, which develops in this limb, it is directly proportional to solution. And this is the example of diffusion process. Diffusion of solvent from the region of its higher concentration to lower concentration, as well as diffusion of solution from the region of its higher concentration to its lower concentration. So here DP, diffusion pressure, directly proportional to solvent. DPD, directly proportional to here solute or solution. Okay, so this is impermeable membrane. This is permeable membrane, just now we have seen. This is another membrane called as semi-permeable membrane, the membrane which allows only solvent to go through it and not the solution or solute. So what will happen here? Here you see here, A, solvent, B, solution. It also consists of solvent, but the amount of solvent here in this limb is less as compared to this. So there will be movement of solvent from this towards this through this membrane, semi-permeable membrane, from the region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration, like this. It will happen here also. But the reverse thing, that means movement in this direction, will not take place because though here solute or solution is in higher concentration, it cannot go from B to A because this membrane doesn't allow solution or solute to pass through it. It is a semi-permeable membrane. So there will be not a bidirectional movement, but there will be unidirectional movement from A to B only. There will be movement of solvent from A to B. There will be movement of solvent toward the solution. There will be movement of water toward the solution. There will not be movement of solution toward the solvent. There will be no movement of solution toward the water. So this is unidirectional movement which takes place through semi-permeable membrane, and this phenomenon was observed by scientist J.A. Nollet, and this is called as osmosis. This is the example of diffusion. This is the example of osmosis. So what is osmosis? When solvent is separated from solution by means of a semi-permeable membrane, there is movement of solvent towards the solution through this membrane, and this is osmosis. So see here, solvent will move toward the solution, and that's why this initial layer height of this limb, height 1, will come to decrease like this, H2, and this height of this limb will increase from H1 to H2. The layers will not remain uniform. See, solvent to solution, decrease in the height, increase in the height. This is osmosis. This is called as osmosis. This is not the opposite of diffusion. This is a special type of diffusion which takes place through semi-permeable membrane, and that is called as osmosis. See here, water in both the limbs, when sugar is added, it will form solution. So when solution is separated from water or pure solvent, then there is movement of water from the region of its higher concentration towards the region of its lower concentration. That means from water to solution through this membrane, semi-permeable membrane, and this is called as osmosis. See, when solvent is separated from solution by semi-permeable membrane, there is movement of only water, solvent, pure solvent toward the solution. And why? Because they are having higher concentration. And in the solution, the concentration of solvent or water is less. So they move toward the solution from the region of higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration till dynamic equilibrium is achieved. And this is called as osmosis. So see here. So this is impermeable. This is permeable membrane. This is semi-permeable membrane separating solvent from the solution. Now again, this is example of semi-permeable membrane, goat bladder. Here the difference is that here the two limbs consist of not solvent and solution, but they consist of concentrated solution and dilute solution. So what will happen here? Here is concentrated solution, here is dilute solution. So what type of movement will be there? Will it be like this from C to D, or it will be like this D to C? See, try to understand. Here there is strong solution, concentrated solution, solution of higher concentration. Here there is solution of lower concentration, and here due to osmosis there will be movement like this from D to C, from lower concentration to higher concentration. Now here usually people get confused as to why it is like this, because everywhere there is movement from the higher concentration to lower concentration. Now why here the movement is from lower concentration to higher concentration? B is lower concentration, C is higher concentration. Now why like this? Why not like this? So see here, concentrated solution is the solution in which the amount of solute is more as compared to this. And in dilute solution, the amount of solvent is more as compared to this. Dilute solution means amount of solvent is more, solute amount is less. Concentrated solution means amount of solute is more, solvent is less. So osmosis consists of only movement of solvent from the region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration, from D to C. And here amount of solute is more, but it will not move towards its lower concentration because this semi-permeable membrane doesn't allow solution or solute to go through it, to pass through it. So it will be movement like this. Are you getting? So see here, this is concentrated solution, this is dilute solution. It will move like this. Here water is in higher concentration, so it will move from the region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration. Water will move from dilute solution to concentrated solution. So this is osmosis. This is another example of osmosis. So here we can define osmosis as when the two solutions of different concentrations are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane. There is movement of water, only water, solvent, from the region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration. So definitions are given. I will provide you the PPT in the form of PDF, so no need to write down. So see here, the same. So this is at the end of experiments. Now I want to tell you one more thing here. We have seen here diffusion takes place due to diffusion pressure which develops in this limb, and there is presence of diffusion pressure deficit in this limb. Similarly, here in this limb or in this limb, in this right hand side limb, here, concentrated solution or solution, there is development of osmotic pressure. So diffusion takes place because of diffusion pressure which develops here, and osmosis takes place because of osmotic pressure, which develops here in the solution limb, which develops here in the strong solution. Are you getting? So diffusion pressure here, DPD here. Similar DP here and OP, osmotic pressure here in the solution or in the strong solution. So what is osmotic pressure? It is the hydrostatic pressure which develops from time to time in a solution due to entry of solvent when the solution is separated from pure solvent by semi-permeable membrane. So osmotic pressure develops in solution limb. Osmotic pressure develops in strong solution limb, and osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration of solute. In the previous slide, what we have seen, DP, diffusion pressure, is directly proportional to the concentration of solvent. DPD is directly proportional to the concentration of solute. And here we are seeing that OP, osmotic pressure, is directly proportional to the concentration of solute. This means that DPD is equal to OP. But this is true only for non-living things. For living things like plants or animals or microorganisms, this is not true. We have to add one more factor, and that is called as TP, turgor pressure. So the equation becomes DPD is equal to OP minus TP for the living system. Now, for understanding the phenomenon of osmosis in plant cells, we have to consider first different types of solutions like hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic, and how plant cells act as an osmoscope or osmotic apparatus that we have to consider. See here, this is the general structure of plant cell. A living plant cell consists of two regions, the outer non-living structure called as the cell wall and the inner living structure called as the cytoplasm, which consists of cell membrane, also called as plasma membrane, that is present inside the cell wall. Then there is a big vacuole at the center called as central vacuole, and due to which the cytoplasm gets at the periphery like this. There is nucleus and other cytoplasmic organelles are dissolved in cytoplasm. So what we are interested here in this plant cell is that this central vacuole consists of cell sap or cell solution. This cell sap or cell solution consists of water, as well as it consists of some organic and inorganic substances dissolved, and these organic and inorganic dissolved substances act as solute. Okay, so solute is there, water is there, that is solvent is there. So this forms a homogeneous mixture inside the cell, and this is called as cell solution, cell sap. So cell solution is present inside the cell, and it is covered by this boundary, which is called as tonoplast, which is very similar to this boundary called as cell membrane. For avoiding confusion, you just remember that cell wall is permeable membrane, and inside that there is a cell membrane or plasma membrane, which is semi-permeable membrane. So plant cell consists of semi-permeable membrane in the form of plasma membrane, and there is presence of cell solution or cell sap. Okay. So different types of solutions. We have studied hypertonic solution, hypotonic solution, and isotonic solution. Hypertonic solution, that is a solution whose concentration is more. Hyper means more. Whose concentration is more. It is more than the concentration of the solution which is present inside the cell, that is cell sap. Cell sap has some amount of concentration, and this outer solution has some amount of concentration, some osmotic concentration. So when the outer solution is having more concentration than the concentration of the solution which is present inside the cell, then that solution is called as hypertonic solution. Second type of solution is hypotonic solution. The solution whose concentration is less than that of the cell sap, cell solution. And isotonic solution is the solution whose concentration is very similar to the concentration of cell sap. So what will happen? Let us see. When the living plant cell is kept in outer solution, hypertonic solution, suppose it is a sugar solution or salt solution whose concentration is more than the concentration of cell solution. Here there is cell solution. So here is inner solution, here is outer solution, and these two solutions are separated by means of plasma membrane, which acts as semi-permeable membrane. So here in this case, plant cell acts as an osmoscope, osmometer. And we know what happens in osmosis when the two solutions of different concentration are separated from each other by means of semi-permeable membrane. Here it is a plasma membrane. Then what will happen? Try to imagine. This is strong solution, concentrated solution. This is dilute solution inside the cell, and two are separated by semi-permeable membrane. What will happen? There will be movement of solvent or water from the cell outside or inside the cell. What will happen when it is kept in hypertonic solution?
Outside.
Yes, right. Yes,
Yes, sir.
right. It is right. It will be outside movement from dilute solution to concentrated solution. You are absolutely right. So this outward movement of water, this outside movement of water from the cell into the outer hypertonic solution due to osmosis is known as exosmosis. It is called as exosmosis. And due to loss of water by exosmosis, the cell becomes shrunken, the cell becomes flaccid, and due to flaccidity, the cell wall gets ruptured, or the plasma membrane inside the cell wall lose the contact with the cytoplasm, and there is shrinkage or breaking down of cytoplasm, and that process is called as plasmolysis. It is known as plasmolysis. So all students, you note, you please mute yourself and you switch off your videos. Switch off your videos दाखवू नका तुम्ही. इकडे पहा, माझा व्हिडिओ पहा फक्त सध्या, नंतर तुमचा पाहू आपण. ठीक, व्हिडिओ बंद करा तुमचा, ऑडिओ व्हिडिओ बंद करा. Okay, see here. So when a living plant cell is kept in hypertonic solution, there is outward movement of water, and this is called as exosmosis. Due to exosmosis, cell becomes flaccid, and this process is called as plasmolysis. And the reverse thing will happen when the living plant cell is kept in hypotonic solution or pure water. You say hypotonic means the solution whose concentration is less than the concentration of cell solution. So this is hypotonic solution, or you say pure water. So what will happen here? This water from outside will enter inside the cell when the living cell is kept in hypotonic solution, and this inward movement of water due to osmosis is called as endosmosis. And due to endosmosis, the cell becomes turgid. That you have studied. You are already familiar with this. We are just having a recap, review. And when the living plant cell is kept in isotonic solution, that is the solution whose concentration is very similar to that of the cell solution or cell sap, there will be no net movement and nothing will happen. The cell will not become flaccid or turgid, and it will remain as it is because the solution is isotonic solution. So this, like this. Okay. When it is kept in a hypertonic solution, exosmosis takes place, cell becomes flaccid, and the process is called as plasmolysis. And the reverse thing will happen when it is kept, when the cell is kept in hypotonic solution, endosmosis takes place, cell will become turgid, and this process is the opposite of plasmolysis. It is called as deplasmolysis. These are some of the references you can refer. You can also refer your textbooks. You can also refer internet sources. Okay, thank you very much for listening patiently. And now the session is open for discussion. If you have any questions, you can ask, or you can write in the chat. I think there is no question in the chat. Any question? Any query? Any difficulty? Any problem?
No, sir.
No question? So
Sir,
I think
DPD is
yes, yes,
proportional to solvent.
yes. Who's that?
DPD is only proportional to solute or solvent. Why?
DPD, diffusion pressure deficit, is directly proportional to solute, or it is directly proportional to solution. That means when we add more and more sugar in that lime, its DPD, diffusion pressure deficit, increases. When we add sugar, DPD increases. When we add solvent or water in that, DPD decreases. This means that DPD is directly proportional to solute or solution. Okay, it is called as water deficit. आपण ज्याला म्हणतो पाण्याची कमतरता, त्याच्यामध्ये पाण्याची कमतरता आहे त्या लिम मध्ये, म्हणून त्याचा डीपीडी जास्त आहे, पाण्याची कमतरता जास्त आहे, म्हणून तो काय करतो, दुसऱ्या लिम मधून पाणी ओढून घेतो. इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज सक्शन प्रेशर, SP. डीपीडी इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज SP, सक्शन प्रेशर. पाणी ओढून घेतो तो, कारण त्याच्याकडे कमतरता आहे, पाण्याची कमतरता असल्यामुळे तो ओढून घेतो. साखरेची कमतरता नाही त्याच्याकडे. DPD is directly proportional to solute. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any more question? You can also put the questions in the chat, or you can put the questions personally to me on the WhatsApp group. Okay. Is it sufficient for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So shall I close? So shall I end the meeting now?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.